389 Gaming.
Hello guys, it's Gar389 here, and this is going to be the first part of a 4-part series on how to build a superstructure in Minecraft. So let's get to it. The first thing that I want to show you guys is how to set up a farm system. So point 1 of setting up a superstructure in Minecraft, get a farm system ready. Today we're mainly going to be talking about infrastructure things like farms and stuff like that. This is, the most basic part of a farm. If you want to ensure your long-term survival in Minecraft, you need a farm system. Or you don't need one, but it's easier if you have a farm system at least. You can obviously go out and hunt the entire time and fish the entire time if you want, but this makes things a lot easier. You can just run across here, remove, all of the wheat that is finished, and then open up your inventory and place all your seeds back. It's as simple as that. Nothing difficult about it, no danger involved. You don't have to go far away from your base to do it. It's simple, easy, and intuitive. And that's why I do it. That's why I set up farms like this. Obviously, you can set up automated farms, which make things a lot easier, but I'm not very good at automated farms, so I just gave up on that. The next farm I have here is for watermelons. Now, why watermelons, you ask? They only heal 1 heart, you say? Well, they regrow extremely fast, which means that you can basically get a lot of them over a short period of time. By the time I'm done talking about them, there will probably be a new one replacing one of the old ones that I just destroyed. And that's basically the main benefit. See, there's one right now. That's the main benefit of having a melon farm. So you can just set them up and they will repair themselves, or they will regenerate really fast. And because you get so many of them over a short period of time, they make a very useful source of food. If you want to save, other types of food for later, like if you need meat for adventuring, or if you need bread for adventuring, for that matter. So the next thing I have here is a tree farm. I don't think I need to explain to you guys the usefulness of wood. Wood is extremely valuable in Minecraft, and it's extremely easy to get. If you have a simple setup like this, where you space all of the blocks, 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces apart, then you can, get a very tightly built up or tightly set up farm system for farming wood. And the benefit of having a wood farm means that you don't have to keep searching for trees to cut down. You can just set them up in the same area and then go back and get more wood when you need it. It's pretty simple. And over here we have the last farm that I have set up, and this is a reed farm. I originally intended for this to be used to make books, but since they've changed things a little bit, so now you actually require leather as well as paper for making books. I kind of haven't used this in a while, so I just use it more or less to cover up my base or my farm over here. So yeah, that's pretty much my basic setup. I don't have a cow farm yet, but obviously I could set one up. I do have some cows over there. Could use those for both meat and for getting leather, which I can use to make those books that I wanted. So let's head into the second part of your infrastructure, namely your base. Now your initial base doesn't need to be anything impressive. Mine is just, a little diamond shape made out of cobblestone on a body of water. Now the reason I chose a water base is because water bases are extremely easy to defend. They obviously do have the negative side effect of being a little bit harder to get to, as you actually have to swim out to your own base, which can be annoying. So some people choose to build on top of mountains, but likewise you still have to climb the mountain to get to your base. And other people can obviously choose to have bases that are easy to get to. So it's really just a matter of whether you want your base to be difficult to get to for enemies and yourself, or if you want it to be easy to get to for both enemies and yourself. Inside your base, you're going to want to have certain basic necessities. You're going to want to have some storage for your normal goods. You're going to want to have a larger storage area for, bulk goods. You're going to want to have a furnace system. We've got a pretty decent furnace area over here. I believe there are 39 furnaces in total, I think. In here I have a simple but efficient enchantment table. You only need this many books now. They've changed it so that this will actually get you to the maximum amount. And of course there's my storage area and something I haven't used yet. On top of that, I of course have little sleeping quarters here, which is also where I have my ender chest and my ender gate. This actually functions as a teleport into the spawn area, because if I enter this portal here, it will take me to the portal that connects to the portal at spawn, so I can actually use that as a shortcut to spawn if I want to. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is organizing your storage. This is very important. You won't know how important it is until you've tried building something really, really big and realize that running from chest to chest, not knowing where you're going, it takes a lot out of you. So having a simple, what are these called again? Simple sign over your chests will make it a lot easier to figure out what's inside them. And that way, at a glance, you know where you have certain chests, where you have certain items. The particular ones that you want to have readily available are things like diamond, iron, fuel over here, and occasionally wood. And then over here I have my standard raw materials, trash materials, refined materials of different types, stuff like that. I just have those readily available. I also have a couple other unmarked chests out here, but I know what they're for. Lastly, of course, you're going to want to have some bulk storage on top of that, which I have in here. This isn't the biggest storage system they ever made, but it is fairly decent, and it should hold most of what I'm going to need for building my superstructure later on. On top of that, of course, you're going to need to have a way of getting a hold of the materials you need. Down here I have a strip mine. Strip mines are a very effective way of getting particularly diamonds, so I have gone down to about diamond level. Let's see how far down we are. Level 11. So down here we have the standard strip mine, and I'll show you that real quick. Over here I actually had like a square strip mine where I dug around it. This actually gives you more visibility as well as giving you more stone, but then I decided later on that I was going to dig a huge hole in the ground anyways, so there was no point in worrying about stone. Oh, he died. So in here I have a strip mine. So what I've done is I've dug a line straight through this area here, and then dug lines out every 2 spaces. Why 2 spaces, you ask? Well, because then I can see on both sides. This reduces the amount of digging you have to do by a factor of, I believe, about 2, or maybe 3. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't done the math on it, but you get the point. Less digging because you don't have to dig out all of this in between. On top of that, digging these strip mines is a good way of getting basic raw materials like stone as well. It's also a good way to get a ton of dirt, which you may or may not need, depending on what you're going to build. Now I'm just going to teleport a little further away and show you guys the last part of my mine system. And through the miracle of editing, we are now several hundred feet away from my base. Or not really that far, but you get the point. This is the other way I have mined materials. And if you have need for a lot of stone, and I mean a lot of stone, this can be an effective strategy. This hole in the ground is... well, I actually haven't measured it. Or I have measured it, but I haven't done so recently. But it is a very, very, very large hole in the ground, and this took me several days to dig. And another thing you're going to need if you want to build a superstructure, and I'm not going to add it onto the list, because it's basically the 5th thing you're going to need for your infrastructure, you're going to need a lot of patience. And that's something I'm going to stress in all of these episodes from here on out. You're going to need a lot of patience if you want to build a superstructure, or anything really big in Minecraft. It takes a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it's difficult, but it's rewarding. At the end of the day, when you're done building your gigantic superstructure, you're going to look at it and you're going to think, I built that. This is totally me. All me. And that'll make you feel a little bit less bad about the fact that you've completely neglected your family for the past couple days. Alright, so that concludes my first episode of how to build a superstructure in Minecraft. Obviously, the tips that I've given you in this video are not just tailor-made for people who want to build large superstructures. They can be extremely useful for you if you want to build even medium-sized structures, or if you just want to or if you don't want to have to go out looking for food all the time. Having a farm makes that a lot easier. Having a strip mine makes it a lot easier to find resources, particularly diamonds, which can be a pain to find elsewhere, other than, you know, down at level 11 or 18, depending on which level you want to dig for them at. I believe the safest is actually about 16 to 18. I'm not entirely sure about that. You'll want to check out that with someone else. And of course, things like having a base is, you know, basic necessity for Minecraft. But setting your base up, setting up your storage, having an organized storage system, those are the kind of things that you're really going to want to focus on if you want to build something really big. It's obviously not necessary if you just want to build smaller structures, but, you know, it's nice to have. Anyways, I'm going to wrap up this video, and I'll see you guys next time. In the next episode, we'll talk about laying the foundations for your superstructure, and of course planning, designing, stuff like that. Things that you need to do if you're going to build something relatively large. You don't want to mess up and have to redo the entire thing, do you? Anyways, I'll talk to you guys soon. Gareth389 out.